Kevin O'Leary, he goes by Mr. Wonderful. Is he wonderful? That's up to discussion. But he says, over the weekend, I witnessed something every crypto investor should pay attention to. Ethereum, the largest blockchain in the world, got congested and fees skyrocketed past $1,000 just to process small transactions. That's like paying $1,000 toll to drive on a one-lane highway. It proves that what I've been saying for years, when real traffic hits the system, it cracks under pressure. For over a decade, we talked about going on chain, and now with real world adoption finally happening, the cracks are showing. Innovation isn't just about hyper speculation, it's about the infrastructure can really handle scale. So he's talking about Ethereum, right? Let me get this thing ready for myself. So he's talking about Ethereum, and I definitely want to get y'all opinion on this up in the chat. Let me know y'all opinion. So he's talking about scale, and obviously the critics will say, hey, Ethereum isn't it. They got Solana, we have Algorand, we have Hedera, we have Base, right? There's a whole bunch of other things, and I'm like somewhat agree with that. That's why I haven't been the biggest fan of Ethereum in terms of just in general, Ethereum being the chain that I transact on. However, we can't be naive and act like Ethereum ain't got the juice, though. It ain't got it got the juice.
Never happened. But now with the stimulus of the Genius Act, for the first time ever, people are starting to use it as a digital payment system. And in order to do that, you have to go on chain. You have to go on to the Ethereum or the Solana. You've got to go on chain. You have to sell and buy on chain. So over the weekend, and the reason I bring it up, a concern that I've had for a long time, and I've seen it before, is that Ethereum, the biggest blockchain, think about ETH, and what's really stimulated it has been that maybe 30% of all transactions on stablecoins are being settled on Ethereum or transferred on Ethereum or paid on Ethereum. But over the weekend, when we had real volatility for various reasons on crypto, Ethereum itself got stuck. It got overloaded, overcrowded. And the best analogy I can use for this is if you think about a single lane highway with a toll booth. Ethereum is a single lane highway and all the cars are transactions on it, but they have to go through the authentication toll booth out in the middle of nowhere. So they all have to drive through the toll booth, and it works fine when there's not massive volatility or massive volume. But when we had that occur, both massive volatility and massive volume on Saturday, it got stuck.
So it got stuck. That's what he's harping on. And then again, as I mentioned, there's other cryptos that Kevin O'Leary should be paying attention to. Tokenization that is already in position that can handle the scale. And one of those right here is Algorand, right? I talked about this recently, but we're going to go over it a little bit more. Algorand obviously can handle the scale. You know, and the critics will say, what about the price action? We're talking about scale right now. We'll get to the price action later on. But when we're talking about building a business with tokenization, with the things that Kevin O'Leary is talking about, you need a blockchain that actually can handle that. And Algorand is that one. So one of the many, one of the few. So Algorand, right? Algorand has added as a partner for Google Cloud Tech's agent payment protocol. Google developed AP2 to initiate and transact agent-led payments across platforms securely. Then they say our blockchain's instant finality, low cost, and secure transactions makes AP2 ready agent payments seamless across platforms. And then so why would Google choose Algorand to work with? However, this partnership came into fruition. They said, hey, Algorand has the tech. They didn't announce Ethereum, they announced Algorand. And let's hear what they got to say about this.
End, and I think actually some of the most interesting value unlock we'll observe will be in the B2B space. But of course, it's very obvious to us sat here today, even if you're not deep into AI or of course crypto, that you might want to pay for your Nike shoes. Saw a great demo from the Algorand team recently where you would be able to instruct your agent to go and do that for you. And that's something that you would probably do anyway. And it could be a holiday and it could be something else. And you can understand how you want to provide some guardrails for your agent there through digital payment credentials and verifiable credentials to make sure that you're signing for something that you actually intend to. And that's, a consumer concern.
And that was the key right here. Let's go back a little bit.
Where you would to pay for your, it's very obvious to us sat here today, even if you're not deep into AI or of course crypto, that you might want to pay for your Nike shoes. Saw a great demo from the Algorand team recently.
Great demo from the Algorand team. That was the key right there. So they just, said it straight up like, hey, listen, Algorand's a part of our payment infrastructure plans right here. And we just got a great demo. So now we're talking about it. This is the Google Cloud, situation. Why is this powerful? Because people like Kevin O'Leary, who has a big microphone and voice, should be paying attention to the blockchains that can actually scale. And then obviously I've been a bull on Algorand for a while. We all want more price action, but what we are getting is great fundamentals, and we cannot deny that. And usually what happens after great fundamentals is the price action. So that's what we all want to hear.